Patrick Mahomes has the NFL world stunned after reports claimed he's agreed to a shocking new deal outside football. And with growing questions about what this means for his future in the league, many fans now believe Mahomes could be preparing for a massive career change nobody expected. On December 14, 2025, the Kansas City Chiefs were already having their worst season in over a decade. They were sitting at 6-7, 3 wins behind the Denver Broncos in the AFC West, and clinging to whatever sliver of hope remained for a playoff push. Then, in the fourth quarter of a game against the Los Angeles Chargers, with the Chiefs trailing 16-13 and under 2 minutes left, Patrick Mahomes rolled to his right to extend a play. Los Angeles defensive lineman Deshaun Hand rolled up on him, and Mahomes went to the ground in serious pain before being helped off the field and taken to the locker room by trainers. The diagnosis, a torn ACL and LCL in his left knee. According to the Chiefs, Mahomes underwent successful surgery with Dr. Dan Cooper in Dallas, Texas on Monday night to repair his injured left knee. Surgeons confirmed to the Chiefs the injury was fixable, and he had no artery damage, nerve damage, joint surface damage, or meniscal damage. The season was already spiraling, but this made it official. Not only were the 3-time defending AFC champions eliminated from postseason contention for the first time since 2014 with their loss to the Chargers, but franchise quarterback Patrick Mahomes also went down with a season-ending knee injury. After going 6-11 in 2025, the Chiefs had the number 9 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. This was a franchise that had been to the Super Bowl in 3 consecutive seasons before 2025. Mahomes had made the AFC Championship game in all 7 years as a starter. And now, in one play, against the Chargers, the dynasty was staring at its darkest moment. Since Mahomes took over under center, the football world started asking, what happens now? Will Mahomes come back the same? Is the Chiefs' window closed? And then, while Mahomes was still on crutches, something happened off the field that made headlines just as loud. Just weeks before the injury, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes cemented his long-term future with the 3 stripes, announcing a multi-year contract extension with Adidas. The announcement reinforced Mahomes' position as the face of the brand's U.S. football division, a role he has held since signing with them as a first-round pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. But this was not just another sneaker deal. This one included a brand new frontier for Mahomes: golf. The Adidas extension landed in late November 2025, right before the Chiefs played the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but the scope of the partnership was hard to miss. Crucially, the extension provides Mahomes with the opportunity to expand his personal brand into Adidas Golf, with plans to develop a signature line of golf apparel. An avid golfer, this expansion allows the star athlete to bring his creative influence and high profile to a new category. This came on the back of the successful launch of his cross-training signature shoes, the Mahomes Impact FLX line. Mahomes will continue to serve as a global face of Adidas, building on recent marketing collaborations with global soccer stars Lionel Messi and Kaká. The 3-time Super Bowl MVP has appeared in global commercials and helped debut new products. The deal is significant for reasons that go beyond the dollar signs. Mahomes' ties with Adidas run deep, as he signed with the brand in 2017, the year he was drafted by the Chiefs. They have launched multiple signature shoes together, including the Mahomes One Impact FLX and the Mahomes 2. This is a relationship that has lasted nearly a decade, and both sides are clearly signaling that it's going to last much longer. When asked about his skill on the course, Mahomes was characteristically coy. Earlier this year, Mahomes was asked about his golf handicap. "I say 7, but it's probably closer to 4 or 5, Mahomes said. "Don't tell anybody. It is not entirely unprecedented for football players to launch golf apparel lines. Tom Brady launched one in 2022, and Reggie Bush launched one with Travis Mathew last year. But what makes Mahomes' foray stand out is the timing. He is entering the golf space at the peak of his cultural relevance, while still under the largest contract in NFL history, and while recovering from the most devastating injury of his career. The optics scream transition, but the details tell a more layered story. Adidas VP of Golf, Jeff Lienhart, put it plainly: Patrick is the tip of the spear in terms of all the athletes we can tap into from around the brand that are in other sport categories, but have a passion for or an interest in golf. What this tells us is that Adidas isn't signing Mahomes to the golf line because they think he's leaving football. They're signing him because he makes the game of golf relevant to people who would never pick up a club otherwise. He's a bridge between demographics, and for Adidas, that bridge is worth more than any traditional golfer could deliver. But this was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Because while the Adidas deal was making headlines, the financial machinations happening behind the scenes in Kansas City told an even more remarkable story. To understand the full picture, you have to understand the contract. In July 2020, Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year, $450 million contract extension with the Chiefs. The contract had $63 million fully guaranteed at signing, including a $10 million signing bonus. $141 million was guaranteed for injury, and a total of $477 million could become guaranteed, based on roster status. At the time, it was the largest contract in the history of professional sports. The deal was structured with rolling guarantees, meaning money would vest year by year, locking the Chiefs into Mahomes progressively deeper over time. The deal was built to give the Chiefs flexibility throughout the contract. Restructuring the pact to push money into future years was always part of the plan. And restructure they did. By 2026, the agreement had already been altered significantly. Kansas City has now restructured Mahomes' contract 4 times to manage the league's salary cap. The latest restructure came in February 2026. The Kansas City Chiefs restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract this week, creating much-needed salary cap space ahead of the 2026 season. The restructuring converts $54.45 million of Mahomes' 2026 salary into a signing bonus and lowers the star quarterback's cap number to $34.65 million. Here's what that meant in practice. Mahomes was initially set to count for $78.2 million against the cap in 2026. That was the second highest cap number in the league, behind only Deshaun Watson's $80.7 million figure in Cleveland. The Chiefs, who missed the playoffs in 2025 after reaching the Super Bowl in each of the 3 previous seasons, created $43.65 million in cap space. They desperately needed it. The Chiefs entered the offseason more than $57 million over the cap. The situation was financially precarious for a team that had been mortgaging its future in cap space to keep a championship-caliber roster around Mahomes for half a decade. But here's the catch. Under the terms of the restructured deal, Mahomes now will count for an additional $11 million against Kansas City's cap each of the next 4 seasons, bringing his total cap number to $85 million for 2027, according to Over the Cap. The can was kicked down the road, and that road was getting shorter by the year. Now, there's really no choice but to hammer out a new deal after the coming season. There is no situation with more disastrous potential than a team trying to ride out a lame duck season on a quarterback contract. The financial gymnastics showcase something important. Patrick Mahomes isn't leaving the NFL. If anything, the Chiefs are restructuring their entire financial ecosystem to make sure he never does. But the cap problems also highlight a vulnerability. Mahomes' on-field value must match his off-field cost. And in 2025, for the first time, it didn't. While the contract restructure was about keeping Mahomes tethered to the Chiefs, the Adidas deal was just the latest entry in what has become one of the most meticulously constructed business portfolios in professional sports. His wealth stems from the largest contract in NFL history, $450 million over 10 years, approximately $20–25 million in annual endorsements, and minority ownership stakes in the Kansas City Royals, Sporting KC, Kansas City Current, and an F1 team. The ownership stakes are what truly set Mahomes apart from his peers. In 2020, Patrick Mahomes became the youngest co-owner of a Major League Baseball team when he acquired a stake in the Kansas City Royals at age 24. His background in baseball runs deep, as his father, Pat Mahomes Sr., played in the MLB for 11 seasons, and Mahomes himself played in college. From there, the portfolio expanded rapidly. He also invested in Sporting Kansas City of Major League Soccer. In 2022, he became a co-owner of the NWSL team, Kansas City Current, joining his wife, Brittany Mahomes, who is part of the ownership group. Later that year, he partnered with Naomi Osaka and others to launch the Miami Pickleball Club. In late 2023, Mahomes joined an investment group led by Travis Kelce to back the Alpine Formula One team. The pair also partnered with Noble 33 to launch One Fev 87 Prime, a steakhouse set to open in summer 2025. This isn't a man who is merely collecting paychecks. The smartest financial move Mahomes is making is shifting from spokesperson to owner. Instead of only accepting endorsement checks, he is acquiring equity stakes in businesses and sports franchises. Ownership creates long-term wealth. While an endorsement pays once, ownership generates value as a business grows and becomes more profitable over time. The endorsement portfolio by itself would make most athletes jealous. His other endorsement deals include State Farm, Oakley, DraftKings, T-Mobile, and Coors Light. Mahomes was announced as a global brand ambassador for the Swiss luxury watchmaker Hublot in September 2025. And the Adidas relationship has now blossomed into something that covers football, cross-training, golf apparel, college athletics at Texas Tech, and even high school programs across the country. On the college front, Mahomes has been instrumental in forming a strong partnership between his alma mater, Texas Tech, and Adidas. In October 2023, Mahomes broke the news that Texas Tech was switching from Under Armour to Adidas. Texas Tech and Adidas officially kicked off a 10-year partnership on July 1, 2024. And he's gone even further. Mahomes announced shortly after the ceremony on Instagram that with the help of Adidas, he would provide custom uniforms and gear with his personal Gladiator logo to 15 high school programs across the country. 3 of them are in Texas, including White House, Longview, and South Lake Carroll high schools. That Gladiator logo, a combination of P and M layered into a Warrior Max design, is becoming its own brand identity. It shows up on Texas Tech uniforms, on high school jerseys, and now it will soon appear on golf courses. When you zoom out, the picture becomes clearer. Mahomes isn't leaving the NFL to become a golfer. He's building a brand conglomerate that will outlast his football career by decades. If his ownership stakes appreciate and endorsement income continues growing, billionaire status becomes plausible by retirement. The model he's following: Tom Brady's broadcast pivot, LeBron James's equity accumulation, suggests Mahomes understands that NFL salary alone won't build generational wealth. Mahomes' net worth is estimated at $90 million as of 2026, according to Celebrity Net Worth. His wealth stems from the largest contract in NFL history, approximately $20 to $25 million in annual endorsements, and minority ownership stakes in the Kansas City Royals, Sporting KC, Kansas City Current, and an F1 team. That $90 million number sounds enormous, but it also puts into perspective how much distance there still is between where Mahomes sits now and where his trajectory could take him. The contract alone, if fully realized, puts another $200 million into his pocket before it expires in 2031. Then add the investment appreciation, the endorsement earnings, and the equity growth. The math starts to look very different by the time he's 40. So is Patrick Mahomes leaving the NFL? No. The real story is that a man who has won 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and holds the largest contract in NFL history, just suffered the worst injury of his career. And his response was not to retreat, but to expand. On the football front, the rehab is the dominant storyline. Mahomes says rehabilitation on his injured knee is going well, and that the goal remains the same: getting back for Week 1 of the 2026 season. It's been going great. Obviously, long term, I want to be ready for Week 1. The doctor said I could be. Typically, recovery from ACL surgery takes 9 months. That number was confirmed by Chiefs Vice President of Sports Medicine and Performance Rick Burkholder, calling the 9-month timeline a ballpark estimate that could give or take a month. Given that Mahomes underwent surgery nearly right away to kickstart his rehab process as soon as possible, he could return to action around mid-September. The milestone that mattered most came in March 2026. Mahomes shared a short video on his Instagram stories, in which he was seen doing drills in an indoor facility and tossing a football around. He was wearing what looked like a sleeve on his left leg, which was the one he injured in last season's loss to the Chargers. Day by day, Mahomes wrote in the caption, 3 months post-surgery, throwing a football. That's ahead of schedule for most ACL recoveries. His doctors, by his own admission, have had to hold him back. Mahomes said his doctors have had to hold him back from wanting to push his rehab harder, fearing a setback. Head coach Andy Reid, now 68, has kept the energy measured but optimistic. Reid said in February, "He's around here all the time. He spends a ton of time here, 7 hours a day. He's in there cranking away, making progress every day." The Chiefs themselves have made aggressive moves to rebuild around Mahomes for when he returns. The Kansas City Chiefs made it clear they're ready to rebuild for the future. pulling the trigger on a blockbuster trade that sent cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams for a haul of picks, including their 2026 first-rounder. Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid is heading into the NFL draft with zero illusions about what he needs to do to protect an injured Patrick Mahomes and rebuild the league's latest dynasty after a shocking 6-11 campaign in 2025. And then there's Travis Kelce. The Kansas City Chiefs brought Travis Kelce back on a one-year, $12 million deal for the 2026-27 season. The tight end, who has been Mahomes' greatest weapon for the better part of a decade, isn't done yet either. Former New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs in March. The former first-round pick will be backing up Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. The insurance policy is in place, but the message from the organization is clear. This is still Mahomes' team. So here's the truth behind the headline. Patrick Mahomes did sign a new deal that sent shockwaves through the sports world. But it wasn't because he's leaving the NFL. The Adidas extension, complete with a golf line and expanded global reach, represents something different. A quarterback building his post-football empire, while still firmly in his football prime. The ACL tear in December 2025 was a setback, not a swan song. The contract restructure with the Chiefs proves Kansas City is all in for Mahomes for years to come. And the business moves from the Royals to Sporting KC to the Kansas City Current, to Alpine F1 to the Steakhouse with Kelce, to the Gladiator logo on high school jerseys. Reveal a man who has no intention of fading away. The most dangerous thing about Patrick Mahomes was never just his arm. It was his ability to see the whole field. And right now the field is a lot bigger than 100 yards.